My name is David Napier. I'm a rep with MacArthur Community for Camden and Campbelltown hospitals. Transformation, funny that actually. I've been doing that all my life. Now inclusion, that is a different story. It is a work in progress for all of us. What a privilege to be asked to do this speech. You wouldn't know this, but I have an accent. I was born during one of the worst storms ever to have hit Scotland. That would be way back in 1947. Gee, that means I'm 70. I was born in Kirkcaldy on the River Forth, the birthplace of economist Adam Smith, explorer John McDowell Stewart was born in nearby Dysart. And for you Tim Tam lovers, William Arnott of Arnott's Biscuits and Alexander Elder of the Elder's Pastoral Company, just to name a few. I was the middle child, 3 boys, 2 girls. In 1963, I immigrated with my parents to Australia. We chose Australia over New Zealand and Canada, too cold. During that time, I gained a diploma in office management at Sydney Technical College, now UTS, and I also hold a diploma in transport management. My number did not come up for Vietnam, so in 1970 I decided to take a trip back to Scotland. Prior to doing so, I took out my Australian citizenship. That also got me a reduced airfare. I won the money for my ticket in a raffle at my soccer club. The trip back was to be of a short duration. I had a good job to come back to. But one day after arriving in Scotland, I met my wife, Doreen, and that changed my life forever. During that time, we had 2 children, a girl and a boy. We came as a family to Oz in 1988. I then started to have problems with my back, which meant I have to give up work. And then Doreen had to give up work also to become my full-time carer. Both my children are married. My son is a detective sergeant and his wife is a teacher. They have 3 boys who we are blessed to have in our lives even at 7 o'clock in the morning, prior to school or after school. One of the blessings of losing the ability to work has been that very precious relationship. My daughter is a CPA and her husband is an associate director of Macquarie Bank. We downsized to Camden 14 years ago and my health took a real turn for the worse. I ended up in Campbelltown for 8 days. The opinion then was I was severely B12 deficient, which meant having regular injections. And that, I was told your driving days are over. I went looking for a neurologist myself using the internet, and I found her through her Sydney University clinic. She is a consultant neurologist at St Vincent's private clinic. Finally, I had some hope. We met in her rooms in December 2010. She advised me that she thought I had stiff person syndrome, plus some other neurological deficits. She thought it was only a mild case, so medication was prescribed and I started to get on with my life. Then in 2012, the wheels fell off. very severe, uncontrollable spasms in my legs and feet started to invert from the vertical to almost horizontal, and I started having seizures. Things became so bad, I presented to Camden in incredible pain. I was then transferred to Campbelltown and then to St Vincent's under the Professor of Neurology. I was the first person in 12 years to present with a similar condition. And there I spent 3 weeks having test after test and receiving medication to relieve spasms. And then both my hands and arms began to invert. I had paralysis and had become a bit of a show pony with my ability to throw things without even trying. Mobile phones, cups, you name it, I involuntarily threw them. When I was stable, I was transferred to Camden Hospital Rehabilitation Unit. The best of the best. What a team. To begin the task of learning to walk again. I had no idea just how hard that would be. After 5 weeks, I could go home, 56 days in hospital. But it took a further 6 months before I could walk without thinking about it. An article I wrote for the mighty. Climbing Mount Everest or one of a kind. Imagine you have gone through every test known to man plus some. Well, this has happened to me in the past 14 years. I thought I had a diagnosis. Then I was told they had changed their mind. So I spent 17 days in hospital under some of the best brains in the land. The Professor of Neurology at St Vincent's, a brilliant and empathetic individual. He even ends his emails to me, Bruce. We communicate every week, now week 160. At the end of testing, no definitive diagnosis. Chronic neurological condition, progressive, incurable. Then add to that the complete loss of your voice for 3 months. Not a word, not a syllable. Frustration growing ever deeper. Communicating by synthesized voice through your smartphone. Thanks to the amazing speech pathologist at Liverpool Hospital, I got some voice back. Then your eyesight's affected badly. You wondered, what's next? Then it hits, and hits hard. Depression. We expect so much from our clinicians, but sometimes they are stumped. I've decided to call my syndrome the Napier syndrome. That makes me more than 1 in a million. You have a choice. You can go to bed, pull the covers over your head, and never get up again, or you can decide to climb the mountain. Yes, it is very steep, and the oxygen level gets less as you climb ever higher. But on you go, climbing higher and higher every day. You know you will never reach the summit, but you keep pressing on regardless. This is a lonely journey, but for one, the one who cares for you 24/7, the one who endures my moods, my anger, and keeps coming back for more. In my case, my amazing wife. I know I will never reach the summit, but I also know I will never stop trying. Living with a disability changes everything. The extra medical costs, I find that amusing. You have the condition, but you also pay for the privilege of having same. Your friends stop visiting, you begin to become isolated, you begin to lose hope, and then you remember you have been here before, many, many times before. Although you never reached the summit, you never gave up, you just kept climbing. That is what it's like when you have a condition no one else has. Don't ever diss my ability. because my abilities far exceed my disability. And that plus my faith is what defines me. That's what drives me to see others in a similar situation given all the help they need to lead productive lives, and when possible, join them on the climb to the top of the mountain. Inclusion. This is a quote from John Wesley entitled, "You Can." Do all you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you ever can. The internet has become my way of sharing with people all over the world who have similar type conditions. Many have become true friends, and without them, the journey would have been impossible. And now I help to run a group of over 1,500 people worldwide, because the condition I have is similar to jerking stiff person syndrome that affects 1 in 1 million people. But this journey of inclusion and transformation started by me singing my passion to the patients in Camden Rehab with the social worker and a person playing the organ. Loved it, made some amazing and lifelong friendships, and completely transformed my life. From then on, I joined Ros on the Camden Hospital Focus Group. From there, joined community participation at Campbelltown and Camden Hospitals, where I've been involved in different issues, and for a while was the rep on the PADP, now Enable. Jointly founded Camden Stroke Recovery Club 11 years ago, now run by David and Christine Crooks. Asked by the National Stroke Foundation to do a blog on the running of a club for use on Facebook and other portals. Was on the Camden Access Committee for 10 years. My greatest achievement there was the input in the Camden Pools upgrade. Invited to join a project that is very much improved on my original idea called MAGIC, the MacArthur Access Group for Inclusive Communities, MAGIC project, commenced in response to consultations with people with disability and their families who identified challenges accessing services, businesses, and the broader community. This involves identifying and auditing premises, awarding of a sticker for shopfront, a mobile app similar to TripAdvisor, web page, Facebook, and disability training for local businesses. Took part in a video production for Ideas, a disability organisation. The filming took place at Barangaroo on a very hot summer day. Writing and having articles published for the mighty readership 150 million. I also write blogs for other organisations. Being part of My Age Scare, a group that is trying to make a more level playing field between those with age with profound disabilities and the NDIS. I'm an executive member of that grassroots movement, and I've done some sound recording for them to use in their campaign. For years, been part of the programme for Year 1 medical students from WSU who come to my house and interview me. Love the whole concept. My smiling face could often be seen on the local media in my role as an advocate for people with disabilities. I took part in the first Leadership Forward programme run by MDS. This improved my advocacy skills considerably. I learned so much, and the facilities were of the highest calibre. But the cherry on the top was to be given the honour of being a Don't Dismayability Ambassador in 2013. That's special for me because two of my heroes had earlier been ambassadors, Kurt Fearnley and the other Superman, Paul Nanari, the one who told me to get off my butt, get out there and make a difference. Interestingly, Linda asked me to come and have a look at the facilities for the conference. I was in my chair. I asked to look at the accessible toilet. It wasn't. We can transform this world. We can work each day to make us a more inclusive society in which to live, if we have the guts to do it. Transformation, inclusion, we can do it. And we can do it now. So what are you waiting for?